Podcasting from the rooftops of Brooklyn, New York, this is the Brooklyn Baritone Podcast. Thank you for checking me out. I appreciate the support. If this is your first time or 20th time, I very much appreciate you checking me out, and I pray you enjoy my content and it makes you think and it improves you by the time this is done and by the time you turn your attention away. All right. The title of this podcast is Got Sleep? Now, for the people who can't see at home, who listen to the podcast audio, it's a beautiful day right now in Brooklyn, New York. The clouds are nice and puffy. The sky is blue and crisp, and the sun is beaming right down on me. Beautiful, beautiful day, and the breeze is great, especially for New York City. It's great. But that means that if it's daytime, a lot of people are awake. But then, going into awake, a lot of people talk about being woke as of late, the past few years. The biggest thing is, gotta get woke. Are you woke? I need to get woke. All this woke talk and no talks about the importance of sleep. Do we have sleep? You got sleep? Sleep is very important. We don't need to keep selling ourselves short, and we're always doing so much things that don't involve sleep. Well, we're going to get into these statistics before we get into the meat of this podcast right now. Now, these statistics here come from www.sleepauthorities.com. Here we go. Only 10% of Americans prioritize sleep when it comes to daily activities. Americans are projected to spend $52 billion in sleeping aids. After one night of bad sleep, your pain threshold drops by 15%. Your amygdala, the emotion center of the brain, increases reactivity by 60% as a result of lack of sleep. One night of poor sleep can increase anxiety levels by 30%. Drowsy driving caused 795 deaths in 2017. That is a lot of things to go by, and that's not even everything dealing with sleep deprivation as well. That's crazy how, looking at how it affects your amygdala. Your amygdala is the emotion center that basically controls or triggers anger, depression, sadness, fear, anxiety. All these things are affected by the amygdala. Now, we already have things that already affect us, but then lack of sleep is not good for us. Another thing where I can definitely relate to is the drowsy driving thing. Thankfully, I wasn't harmed or harmed anyone because of drowsy driving, but a couple podcasts ago, I talked about my experience with really drowsy driving, and it was not fun, and I do not wish to repeat that as well, again, ever, and I hope that no one else as well goes through that, and, try your best to avoid that by all means. Get your rest. Your rest in your life and the life of others is way more important than having to get somewhere unless it's something life-threatening, and still, even that, you have to move with caution. Okay? And the very first one that I read, only 10% of Americans prioritize sleep when it comes to daily activities. That means almost everybody, 90% of these people out here, us, all of us, don't put aside time for sleep. Now, a couple of other things that sleep affects, it also causes poor cognitive abilities. Example, lack of focus. You can't remember things, sluggish behavior and performance. Basically, you feel like you're in a daze or everything's all fuzzy. And it also causes you to not recover properly, which means one effect is that your immune system takes a hit. And, everyone's talking about being sick right now. Coronavirus, COVID-19, all this stuff right here. We have to pay attention to the simple things. We can't look at the big the big bang end answers for everything. We can't look for the next best thing that we could inject in our bodies and our lifestyles, because we just have to take care of things ourselves the way it's meant to be taken care of. So, getting more into the meat more into this right here of got sleep. Why is it that we fail to do something simple, something so simple that's ingrained in us? Well, for one thing, entertainment. We're bombarded with this every day. At one point, at least up to the 80s, TV used to sign off. Yes, television used to sign off. It was not on 24/7. You would get to at least 11, maybe 12 o'clock at night, and then whatever broadcast station you were looking at, it would sign off until about 6 or 5 in the morning. Because usually by then, you're supposed to be at home sleeping if you're not working as like a doctor or a truck driver or certain jobs where required you to sleep. And, that's a whole other thing of, not sleeping during the nighttime. But then also as well, we have all of this media and entertainment readily available now where TV no longer signs off. We have all these media outlets. We have YouTube. We have Hulu. We have Disney Plus. We have Netflix. We have so many things out there to grab our attention if we want to get up at 2 o'clock in the morning or stay awake for a binge for 24, 48 hours. We can watch things that's going to garner our attention. So we have to have a lifestyle change, basically. So it's not always a good thing just to have things available to you. That is not a sign or an indicator of life being better for you just because we have things available. That doesn't mean that we can utilize it properly. Doesn't mean that we even know how to be responsible. Just because you have access to something doesn't make you a better person or make us better people. And that's me included, because I usually try to get at least 7 hours of sleep, and I don't get that all the time, but when I do, it feels great. When I get 7 hours, 8 hours, 9 hours at certain times, it feels great, and I enjoy it. And I know as I'm older, I cherish sleep more. When you get older, you have an understanding with your body more because you're a little bit more intimate with you. Like, hey, listen, we're getting older and certain things are going to have certain effects, and you should have this habit from when you're younger. And also when you're younger, you want to stay up more, you want to party more. And this is one thing definitely in American culture, especially in the big cities or the big, more populated areas, there's a nightlife. And like New York City is known for its nightlife. It's known as the city that never sleeps. We have clubs, we have restaurants, we have bars, we have all types of things going on that's keeping people up. And there's people who are going to these things at all hours of the night, and then they got to get up sometime in the day to go to work or to school or to do something that it requires them to be up in the daytime. This is wreaking havoc on your system, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. Every single thing that you do that takes you away from sleep is depriving you, and it takes a good amount to make up for that, what they call sleep debt, I guess. So we have to have a lifestyle change. We have to understand, yes, being woke is great, but getting sleep is even better, because then with all that wokeness that you're experiencing and that you're gaining, that sleep will make sure your brain can now process all that woke data in the best way possible. So when you're woke, you could be the best type of woke, and you could help other people. You could speak clearly. You have more control over your emotions. Your immune system is nice and strong, so you're not going to get sick. You understand what I'm saying? You're not going to have bags under your eyes. You're not going to have high blood pressure. You're not going to have anything wrong with you. But that's all I got to say. Thank you for listening. I hope I sparked interest in you and I sparked thought. I hope I hopefully encouraged you to take good stock of yourself and someone else around you, to help yourself and others be the best version of themselves that they possibly can. I try my best too. Anyways, you can always check my content at my website, which is www.brooklynbaritone.com. I'm also on YouTube. Check out my channel, Brooklyn Baritone. I'm also on Instagram, and I'm also on Facebook. You can catch me on Google Play Store and the iTunes Play Store. Anyways, walk good, y'all. Be blessed. Love you. You'll hear from me next week. I'm going to enjoy the rest of this beautiful day out here. I'm out.